So hello everyone, I hope all are doing great, and we are back with another guest. His name is Abhinav and he has completed his bachelor's degree in electronics and communication from Delhi Technological University. After that, he has completed his master's in microelectronics and VLSI from BITS Bilani, and sir is working at Texas Instruments. At present, he's working as digital design engineer. So before getting into the video, I would like to welcome you, sir, on our YouTube channel VLSI for All. And thanks for coming forward to share your views and experience with us. So welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's a pleasure.
So, sir, can we have a brief introduction about yourself?
Yeah, sure. I think you have covered it well. As you've already indicated about my graduation and post-graduation, right? I joined Texas Instruments in 2017, just after graduation from on-campus placement, right? And thereafter, I've been working there since last 4.5 years. And my main job role over there is verification engineering, right? And the BITS Pilani master's degree that you talked about, that was on job course. That's a work in learning professional course, which I got an opportunity while working at TI itself. So that's a brief about me.
Okay, sir. So, sir, would you like to share how you got admission into Delhi Technological University? Is it through JEE Mains?
Yeah, it's through JEE Mains.
Okay, sir. So, sir, have you done any internships in your bachelor's degree, sir?
Yeah, so I did my internship in Indian Railways, both during winters and as well as during summers. In winters, I did my internship in Tughlakabad, right? And their role, I think, was to understand the microcontroller-based system that a railway has developed in their engines. And I think Siemens engineer usually visit there to basically tell the railway engineers about those microprocessor-based systems, right? And the summer internship at Indian Railways was at the DRM office in the Signal and Telecom communication, right? And there, I think it was mainly understanding the system that they have, and I had designed a basic audio amplifier, only the simulation part of it during the course of internship.
So, sir, means these internships you applied offline or your college helps you to get such internships?
This was off campus.
Okay. Okay, sir. So, sir, anything would you like to share about Delhi Technological University? Means what you liked about that?
Yeah, mainly I think the best part about Delhi Technological University, right, is the interaction among the seniors and juniors, right? I think that is the strongest point I feel about that college, and that still continues, and that is the reason I think we are able to still interact even after so many years of graduation, right? So that bond between seniors and juniors is one of the strongest point in the college that I've seen, which I, after talking to many folks from other colleges, I've seen it's relatively missing, right, in other colleges. So that is one strongest point in my opinion.
So, sir, means what kind of exposures Delhi Technological University offers to their students?
Come again.
Means what kind of exposures Delhi Technological University offers to their students? Means how is the placements? How is the
Okay,
labs?
so
How is the faculties?
yeah. Yeah, faculties labs are good. One additional point I'd like to talk about is the societies that we have right in college, may it be IEEE or SRDTU, right? There are a lot of yeah, these activities which are ongoing in such groups, right? It helps develop skills among the different students, right? Apart from their curriculum courses. Right? And that is actually something which helps you through your internship interviews or your placement interviews, right? And having such strong projects which you do as part of these societies helps you drive your interview, right? Which is one of the strongest point when you go into an interview, right? If you are able to drive an interview, that's very good. And such projects help you a lot in that aspect.
Okay. So after that, you have completed your master's from BITS Pilani also. So how was your
Yeah.
experience with BITS Pilani?
So that course was actually completely online.
Okay.
I applied for it just after completing 1 year at TI. That was a bare minimum requirement from BITS Pilani side, that you should be at least a year experienced in your company to apply for it. I applied it. Then there were 3 semesters which included courses, and 4 semesters was a dissertation where you have to perform a project and submit it. Right. The courses were actually good, and it helped me develop some strong skills, specifically on the analog side. Right, there were a couple of analog subjects in that course which helped me develop some strong skills there. And there were few subjects which were not directly related to the profile I was working in, right, at that point of time. And I got to know about it, and that helped me question more during the course of job, right? Asking the right set of questions to those folks in that particular domain. So that master's course definitely helped me.
So, sir, how you got offer at Texas Instruments? Is it online or it is also offline?
No, it was a on-campus offer from Texas Instruments. Yeah.
And in which year you got, sir? Means from in which year company start visiting to you to offer such jobs?
During the start of 4th year is when the companies usually start visiting. Maybe when your
Okay.
4th year starts around August, that's when the companies start to visit. And I think TI was probably the second company, if I remember correctly, at that point of time. Samsung came in, they had the written exam, but I think interviews they conducted later than TI. TI came on 9th of August during our batch, and the complete process was conducted in one day itself.
Okay. So, sir, could you please share what is the process of recruiting for Texas Instrument? Because most of the people aim to go into Texas Instruments.
Okay, so specifically for TI, right? I think if you go about it in the written exam, there are three sections. One is your aptitude, then you have a digital section and an analog section, right? TI usually have section-based cutoff, right? That you have to score minimum a specific number of marks in a given section. And looking at your score in the digital as well as in the analog section, TI shortlists you for analog or a digital profile, and if you perform good in both, then you get shortlisted for both, and then it's up to you which profile you want to pursue, right, for interviews. uh, for me, I got shortlisted in the digital profile, right? Now, talking about the written examination, there was aptitude section, I think around 30 marks, I guess, and then 45 for analog and digital, right? Uh, there is no that this maximum you have to score this much. There is definitely a minimum that you need to score this much in each section, right? And it's not like if you want to get shortlisted for digital profile, you can just skip the questions of the analog and just go about it in the digital and just perform it like that, right? So you have to have a good skills in both analog as well as digital to crack the written round for TA, right? And followed by the written examination, I had 2 technical interviews. One was a one-on-one interview, and the other one was a panel interview. And finally, we had the HR interview conducted.
So, sir, if someone want to build his career in VLSI industry companies, so as per you, what subjects, tools, and languages he should acquire before attending such interviews?
Okay, so first I would say you have to make up your mind whether you are targeting a digital profile or an analog profile, right? Specifically for TI, right? Because if I think in our campus, the companies which visit, usually TI is the one which offers the analog profile additionally. Apart from that, it's mostly digital, right? So that's why I think there is a trend that you'll see in TTU that most of the folks are focusing on the digital profile rather than analog, right? So first you have to make up your mind. Now maybe I can speak more about the digital profile, right? So talking about digital, if you need to go from the very basics, right? You can start ramping up your digital electronics concept from Morris Mano, right? And then you need to be very conversant with the VLSI subject, right? So you can start building concept with the CAN, and then to develop some advanced skills, right? You can refer Rebe. That's a excellent book for VLSI design, right? And additionally, if you start going through Rebe book, right, you will not easily understand the concept. So there is a lecture series from Professor John M. Rabe itself, right? And if you go through that and then you go through the book, it's very easy to relate to the concept, because the way he explains, you will very easily understand even the difficult concepts, right? Maybe to give you a very small example, right? The very famous question that you might be also aware of is the NAND versus NOR question, like which is better and why they are called universal gates, right? The fundamental difference we never understand, right? We go through online differences, just cram about it, and if it comes interview, you can just answer those, right? Whatever you learned online. But the way he has explained in his lecture series, right? You actually understand why there is a difference. He goes into the MOS level of details and then explains you, right? Why one is better than other. So that level of understanding, if you have, it will definitely help you in your interviews, right? And there is nothing additional, I would say, you will have to do for the written examination when it comes to digital, right? As long as you are building a good amount of concepts from Morris Mano and VLSI design, these two from CAN, you should be good to crack the written round for the digital. Additionally, for the analog, right, since even if you are targeting digital profile, you need to have good amount of analog skills to at least crack a few questions there, right? So I'd say you can still develop a few good concepts in digital, maybe current mirror question, differential amplifiers, right? And Cedra Smith is one book, maybe if you want to just develop basics so as to just clear the written round for the digital profile.
So, sir, is there any difference between digital profile and analog profile? Means,
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, you will see the difference in the questions itself, right? If you see the level of questions that you see in digital, the same MOS you can use in digital and in analog, right? It's just the way or the region it behaves in is the difference, right? So in digital, usually you will see we are talking about the logic levels, logic level 0 and logic level 1, and that is what we are interested in, using any device as a switch on and off, right? But when it comes to the analog profile, they're more concerned about operation of those MOS or BJT, JFET, all these things in other modes, right? Where it can act as an amplifier or certain other features of it, using the current mirrors, differential amplifiers, and all those. So definitely there is a difference between an analog and a digital profile.
means, sir, when you
And
get
you
into
need
such,
to, yeah.
yes, sir, please.
Yeah, and you need to be different in preparing for both those profiles.
Yeah. So I was asking, means if you get into such companies with the digital profile and analog profile, means what role meant for means digital profile and what roles are meant for analog profile?
Okay, so maybe it's a little open-ended question. Maybe I'll try to answer it. So in digital, right, there are a lot of profiles when you join as a digital design engineer. You can be doing the RTL design, right, where you will be designing uh, modules which will be used to develop the chips, right? Then you can be a verification engineer who will be verifying the functionality of those, right? You can be a DFT engineer who will be looking into the test aspects of those particular chip, right? You can be a physical design engineer who will be looking into the back-end activities of this chip, right? So there are a lot of roles. Then there is validation as well, right? Where you look into pre-silicon, post-silicon validation, using FPGAs to validate this stuff, right? So there are different roles when it comes to digital. Similarly, for analog, also it's true, right? When you go into the analog profile, you will be there will be analog design engineers, there will be analog test engineers, there will be analog verification engineers. So overall are more or less same. It's the requirement in the digital and the analog is what is different. I hope that that answers your question, right?
So, as per you, means what is the future of VLSI industries? Because recently, government also took a big step to to implement so many fabrication uh, uh, hubs. So, what would you like to share anything about that? It's your views.
Okay, so yeah, I think definitely it's not going to go down for sure. Is that it's what my opinion is, and there is a bright future in the VLSI industry if someone is going to start the career in that field.
So then, as you mentioned, you got offer from Texas Instruments to do your masters. So sir,
Mhm.
means company will the means company provides you the choice to choose between MTech or MS, or it will give just MTech. Means what is the procedure in Texas Instruments?
Okay, so it's not like an offer from TA. It's just that they have that opportunity if you want to pursue. Right? So there are different options which you can explore. Right? But again, with different colleges, there are different requirements. Right? There is one course which is from University of Illinois. I think the requirement probably there is you should be 3 to 4 years of experience. For me personally, right, I wanted to do it much early in the career, right, because certain reasons, right, personal reasons. So BITS Pilani I felt was the best option for me because it required only 1 year of experience in the company, and right after that you can just go ahead and apply for it. So that's one of the option I had. But yeah, there are certain other options, but uh, there are options where you can go and pursue masters also, uh, but I don't have much details around that. Uh, yeah.
So sir, means you were already in Texas. It means one of the top VLSI industry. So means what made you to do MTech? Means will it help you in professional career also?
Okay. So the personal reason for me to do a master's was I actually wanted to do post graduation, but at the same time I did not want to waste the opportunity that I already have of starting the career with the one of the best industries in semiconductors, right? So since there was an opportunity to pursue masters while working at TI, and I have talked to a few folks who have already done this course, they indicated to me it's definitely possible to pursue it, and you won't feel much pressure with work since the courses were only on the weekends, right? Only for exams you have to visit, otherwise it's all always on Saturdays and Sundays, right? So it's definitely possible to find time to pursue it, right? So yeah, for me, I wanted to do post graduation and at the same time pursue the career opportunity that I had. So I think that is the reason I went for it. I would definitely say MS is uh, always a better option compared to MTech. Reason being, I feel research outside India is has more scope and is much better than what we have. There are definitely few colleges in India as well, which are at par with the foreign universities, right? Namely IIC Bangalore, IIT Bombay, right? You'll have immense number of opportunities there as well. But yeah, relatively when it comes to research, I feel colleges outside has a better scope. So MS is definitely a better option. Personally, I didn't want to pursue that because uh, I wanted to do post graduation without leaving this career opportunity.
Okay. So, sir, means project plays a very vital role in your selection procedure. So, sir, if someone want to
Correct.
do, if someone want to land up his career in such VLSI industries, what kind of projects he should select and how he should analyze his projects? And minimum means at least how many projects is necessary to have in your resume.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a very good question actually, right? If you have a very strong project in your resume, that always helps because the moment your interview discussion starts around the project, right? it's you who are driving the interview rather than interviewer, which anyone would like, right? From the interviewee standpoint. Now, coming to the question of having a very good project on your resume, right? Uh, Everyone says it's never too late to start, but I would say as early if you identify what career opportunity you want to land in, it's always good, right? I think during the end of my second year, I got a very good opportunity in DTU itself to do project with a couple of seniors, right? And the project was actually in the VLSI domain itself, right? We were developing some cryptographic modules, some arithmetic logic units, looking at Vedic mathematics, right? And we were trying to explore different possibilities around it. And that is the point when I started learning Verilog language, right? That's when I first heard about it and started learning it, and actually became that's when I wanted to become a digital design engineer, frankly, right? So that project played a very vital role in my interview, in both one-on-one interview as well as in the panel interview. It took almost more than half of my interview, right? That's how I was able to drive it in that manner, right? So as early you identify which career path you want to land into, you should start looking into what are the requirements around those, what kind of questions are being asked in the interview, and then pick a topic, right? Pick a topic and just try to discuss with your seniors what kind of projects you can do, right? And the one thing you need to understand is, while during the course of developing a project, right, there will be n number of challenges you will face. And if you can discuss those during an interview, right, these are the challenges that you have faced, and you are able to combat those with this in these manners, right? Interviewer will be happy because he will have confidence if such kind of challenges comes in your career when you are actually working with them, right? He has confidence that you will be able to tackle those, right? So that also plays a good role while explaining a project.
So building a resume is a skill. So would you like to share any tips and suggestions for our viewers? Means what it should
Yeah,
include, what
so
it should not.
yeah, so maybe I'll talk about what it should include first. So mainly when it comes to resume preparation during college itself, right, you need to focus on the projects that you have done, right? And that should be highlighted at the top, right? Your resume should be such that's the first thing interview should be able to see, that these are the projects that you have done, right? And then probably what are the skills you own to be able to explain that you have actually done those projects, right? And one of the strongest point while preparing resume, never put a thing that you cannot back, right? That's very strong point. If you are able to back a project, only then only put it, right? Because don't think that the interview will not be knowing about that project, right? At some point of time in their life, they would have encountered those kind of situations. So there are high chances that they can ask cross questions, and you might stumble, right? So only put a project which you are confident in, and yeah, that's a key.
Okay. So, sir, you served as a head of placements funda in DTU. So, sir, would you like to share your any experience?
Okay, so that's actually initiative from the seniors itself, right? DC placement fundas. So that's kind of a group where seniors come together and they try to ramp up the immediate junior batch, right? For their placement and internship interviews. The reason I joined that and became the head of that group is because I benefited from it during the time when I was learning from that group, right? So I definitely wanted to contribute something which from which I've gained something, right? So it's a give and take kind of group, I would say, right? There is the best part. There is no joint fees. It's an initiative by seniors, and that helps us build a good amount of interaction between seniors and juniors. And best part is I frankly, I love teaching a lot. So that is one of the main reason I became a integral part of that group, right? And that definitely helped my communication skills with the folks, right? Which is very critical when it comes to working in the industry. So that definitely helped me also.
So means many of the seniors used to say that it's just waste of time. Don't take such initiatives. So what is your take on that? Means how it changes our
I
personality and how
Okay,
advantage.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I totally disagree with that. If someone says it, but yeah, it definitely improves your personality, right? Because you will have a number of juniors present in a room, right? And anyone can ask any kind of questions, right? It can be very simple, and it can be as challenging as you not have even heard of it, right? So maybe you have to research something to answer those questions. So it's definitely a development process for you as well, even if you are on the other side of the table. So it's a very good initiative, and it should still continue.
So sir, you are working in one of the top VLSI industry. So what is the procedure to get promotions in such companies? Means if someone want to go to a higher position or become a senior engineer, what is the procedure?
Mhm. Mostly it's performance based. It's your on job performance. That's how you get the promotion. There are different other paths as well in different companies, right? Like technical ladders are there, managerial ladders are there, right? There are different paths, whichever you want to proceed with. But mainly it's your job performance, how you perform. That's how the promotions happen.
Do they take any other means separate exam for such things or any interviews again? I mean,
Specifically for TI, I can say that there is no interview process or examination process in terms of
no, sir,
promotion.
for getting
For
a higher
promotions.
positions, for getting into the higher positions, will they take any exam? Means will means company to conduct any such exams to uh, recruit a higher position?
No.
No, it depends on your experience and
Okay.
performance.
Okay. So just wanted to confirm. You're asking about the promotions, or you're
Yeah,
asking
sir,
hiring
promotion
someone from
to get
outside?
higher
Ah,
positions.
so that's all based on your performance.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. There no exam that is conducted, at least in TI, for promotions.
So, sir, anything else would you like to share with our viewers?
Uh, Specifically, maybe one thing probably I can speak maybe which I wanted to cover, right? As I talked about the projects which I did, right? We actually built a small group which we called as a VLSI research group in DTU, right? Which was initiative from two of my immediate seniors, and we continued that, right? uh, we started recruiting the juniors. We conducted small examinations, hold small interviews to judge their caliber, and then we shortlist few folks. We do some projects with them, and that is the first time when my interest in publications actually started. I started developing interest in that. Right, I had publications during the college. Right, I had two publications from college itself, and I'm still continuing that in my industry, and I have already authored 10 plus publications. Right, and hold a patent. So that is one thing additional from work which helps me motivate and continue in this industry, right? uh, Doing work and learning skills is one aspect of it, but there should be something which should always motivate you, and you need to identify that, right? For personally, for me, it's the publication and the patents part which keeps me motivated and accelerated to keep doing best in the same field, right? So that's one thing I would like to say. Choose one thing that motivates you and continue it no matter where you go.
So thank you, sir, for sharing your experience, and we are looking
Sure,
forward to have more interactions more and more. Thank you, sir.
sure. Yeah, it was a pleasure talking to you. Okay.
Thank you.